Hello world! Welcome back to another TryHackMe challenge video. In this video, we're going to be going through the phishing emails 5 room. Let's get started. So there's also phishing emails 1, 2, 3, and 4 rooms respectively, but they're just tutorial rooms. So we're going to jump into the actual challenge, which pretty much applies of all of what you learned from the previous phishing emails rooms to this room, right? So let's go ahead and dive in. A sales executive at Greenholt PLC received an email that he didn't expect to receive from a customer. He claims that the customer never uses generic greetings such as good day and did not expect any amount of money to be transferred to his account. The email also contains an attachment that he never requested. He forwarded the email to the SOC, Security Operations Center, department for further investigation. Investigate the email sample to determine if it is legitimate. And they even give us a tip. Open the Eml file with Thunderbird. All right, so we have the machine already open over here. We can see that the challenge.eml file is right here. So let's go ahead and crack open Thunderbird like it told us to. And that does look like the Outlook icon, but it is Thunderbird. Okay, now we have Thunderbird open. Let's go ahead and open our Eml file. So we can just do that. Save message, desktop, challenge.eml. There we go. Go ahead and maximize that. All right, so the first question is, what is the email's timestamp? Answer format, and then, the standard answer format. So up here, we can actually see a timestamp right here. Now there is one in here, but it's asking for the email's timestamp specifically, not that whatever this is, the transaction thing that was going on in here's timestamp, right? So they want it in that format, 0610/2020, and then 0558. All right, who is the email from? Well, we can just look at the from header up here, and it says from Mr. James Jackson. So that'll be our next answer. What is his email address? Well, the email address is literally out to the side right here, right? We can just do right click, copy email address, and go ahead and paste that in. What email address will receive a reply to this email? So they're going to be replying to in this reply. Well, you can see that in this reply to field right here, right? Because that's who you're going to be sending a message back to if you need to send back something, right? Or in this case. And you can see there is a slight difference between Mr. James Jackson email and the first one, right? They have @mail.com right here. And then they move the Mutawa Marine part over to the left of the @ sign, right? So let's go ahead and copy that email address. What is the originating IP? Okay, so you're not gonna find it like in this general context right here. You're gonna need to go to more, and then you can actually view the source of the email. And you'll notice there's a few IP addresses here, right? And we're gonna obviously follow the one that's in the answer format, right? But it's not going to be this one, right? Because this is X Atlas received. That's not what we want, right? Now this would be it, right? X originating IP, but it's blanked out. So it's probably somewhere else in here, right? So if we come down here, we have another received from IP address right there. And then here we go. Here's a received right here from an actual domain, right? And then an IP associated with that domain. So this looks like the valid IP addresses. That looks like our originating IP, right? Because it not only did it find us an actual domain, like a DNS resoluted name, but the IP address along with it, right? So we'll go ahead and copy that, put it in there. Who is the owner of the originating IP? Do not include the dot in your answer. Okay, so the originator is gonna be something from this hostwinsdns.com, right? But what we can do is we can just do a who is lookup on this IP address and probably find the information that way. So we'll come in here and we'll just do a who is on our IP. And it'll take a second to load. All right, so now we've got that, and we should be able to find our originating IP owner in here somewhere. And they said, do not include the dot in your answer. So it looks like it could be this HostWinds LLC right here, the organization. I don't see a name for anybody. Just briefly scrolling. Yeah, I don't see a name for anybody. So the next best thing would be like the organization it came from, right? So we're just going to take our HostWinds LLC and we're going to paste it in here. Oops, I did not copy that. There we go. Okay, what is the SPF record for the return path domain? And if we Google SPF record, we know that that's going to be a record that is part of your domain's DNS, similar to a DMARC record. It contains a list of all the IP addresses that are permitted to send email on behalf of your domain. Okay, so knowing that, we need to get the SPF record for the return path domain. And what is the return path domain? Well, we know what that is because when we're replying to, right, it's going to be whatever domain we're replying to. And we know that that domain that we're replying to is going to be mutamarine.com, right? Now, I know that the domain said info.mutamarine@mail.com, right? So you would think it'd be mail.com, but no, the original domain that sent us the message is what we're looking at as the return path domain. You see what I'm saying? The return path domain would be simply what the sender's domain is from his email, right? So we're going to go ahead and do SPF record lookup. MX Toolbox will work just fine. I've used it several times before. And this is going to be the string we want right here. And boom. All right, so let's do the same thing for the DMARC record, right? It's going to be something that we can easily just look up. In fact, there's an option right here. But first, let's go ahead and Google what that is. DMARC record. Just so we know, a DMARC record is the core of a DMARC implementation in which the DMARC record rule sets are defined. This DMARC record informs email receivers if a domain is set up for DMARC. If so, the DMARC record contains the policy which the domain owner wants to use. In essence, a DMARC record, a DNS domain name service entry. Okay, so now that we know what it is, let's go ahead and do DMARC right here, and we're gonna use the same. We're gonna use the same mutamarine, I think it was .com, and that looks like our DMARC record right there. Boom. All right. What is the name of the attachment? Okay, so let's close the congratulations message. Let's close our source. If we come down here, we see there's one attachment and we can see the name of it right there. Let's go ahead and save it so that we can just copy the name of it. Well, I think saving it to the desktop is fine. Let's go ahead and open up a terminal as well so we can navigate to it. All right, do an ls, grab the name of the attachment. Cool, what is the SHA-256 hash of the file attachment? This is very simple. All you need to do is SHA-256 sum, right? Because that's the hashing algorithm, and then sum next to it, just, you know, it's looking for the hash sum, right? The checksum. And then we're gonna just use our attachment. And then that's going to be our SHA-256 hash. Now, of course, there's also MD5 sum, right? And then, you know, SHA-1 sum. There's a sum for pretty much several of the major hashes are built into the Linux system, right? As commands, or as those sum commands, right? What is the attachment's file size? Don't forget to add KB for kilobytes to your answer. KB, okay. So we can do this very easily. We can just do ls-tac-l, and then we can look at this number. That number is in bytes, so we need to convert that number to kilobytes. And the easiest way we can do that is with a calculator. Go ahead and copy that to our calculator. Now, the common misconception is that kilobytes, right? A kilobyte is 1,000 bytes. Excuse me, that is the misconception. It's actually 1,024 byte. If we divided by 1,000, we would get the wrong answer. So we need to actually divide by 1,024. and that'll give us 400.26. I'm guessing they want us to round down or up. Not sure. Guess we'll find out. We'll start with 400.26 and see if that works. Okay, that one worked. All right, last question. What is the actual file extension of the attachment? All right, a simple Linux command can tell us that. We can just do file -. You would think it's .cab, but it may actually be something else. And sure enough, it's not actually a .cab file. It's actually a RAR archive. And for those of you who don't know, RAR is just another compression method, just like zip is, right? Anyways, it's just another type of compressed archive. So, and the extension for it is .rar. So it looks like they just want the RAR. And that's it for this room. Pretty simple one, you know, taking it easy here and there. I know the previous challenges we did were the Squid Games challenges, and those were ranked hard. So it's nice to take it easy every once in a while, right? You know, have a nice chill room. Hope you enjoyed the video. Drop a like and subscribe just to show your support. Check out our Patreon and Discord server and the links in the description box down below. And leave any feedback in the comment section down below. This is Almond Milk. Thanks for watching. Goodbye, world.